Homosexuals. People are out here homeless just waiting for one call and you can move cities. And how did he even move in? With a backpack. Like, you just come to someone's house and stay in a different town. Let me stop questions. Let me continue. He said he had gone for a job opportunity, and since I brought him back to Kisumu, he has nowhere else to go. Ni sawa bas, umemove in. Lakini mbona unatumia resources vinye unajisikia na haununui anything? Kwa nini unataka kuchagua chakula unachokula kwa nyumba yangu? Ati sikuli omena na hiyo ndio iko. Na haununui chakula chenyewe. Why? Mbona hata rent hutoi? Kwa nini nilijiingiza shimo gani? Let me tell you the audacity of people who will move into your house, because I have stated it in a podcast. Is it an episode or is it on TikTok? When I said I don't host people anymore. The audacity people have for requesting things in your house and they don't pay or contribute to anything. I need that audacity to get the kind of money I aspire for. I honestly do. Because what? I don't want to eat that. I don't want to eat that. And you've not even brought the food you want to eat. You do not contribute. You don't even give a fraction of the rent. And you've been living here. And then when I ask you, you gaslight me into saying, because I told you one time I need company, you moved. How many hours is it from Nairobi? It's a 6-hour drive from Nairobi to Kisumu. And then you had nothing else to do for this period you moved into this girl's house. You had no family, no friends, no commitments anywhere else, no work. Strike two. I was so silly to trust this guy so much that whenever I was on my safe days, we didn't use rubber. Not always, kama ilikuwa mbali. Mimi who work from home, I literally don't leave my house. Ni multipurpose. If I am only fucking one person, kindly explain to me how I almost died junililetewa UTI mara 3 and the last one maze ilinimaliza kabisa. It was around 8 p.m. nimekimbizwa hosi with high fevers and the doctor was like, you are very lucky you came to the hospital. Wewe ulikuwa unakimbizwa mochari kuamkia asubuhi. Olive, I was done. Completely done. The guy had to leave my house and my life. Hey, that it takes a tragic event where you literally stare death in the eye for you to get to a point where you're just like, nigga, you gotta go. You gotta leave. It's sad. Honestly, it's sad. And we will talk about how our general upbringing as Africans is very people pleasing. Yeah, we don't grow into people who can speak out for themselves. You take in too much. We are brought up to be sponges. We are supposed to get to a point of saturation first before we are completely done, which is dangerous. Anyway, strike 3. I have a lot of work by choice. Niko hapa na pale na organize events, niko na presentation, mi ni speaker kwa event ingine, niko na meetings kadhaa, niko na classes kadhaa, and I still work. The guy enters my life and I recognize, okay, now I have to make time for this one, and I do. Basi nielezeni mbona jamaa huyu alikuwa analia eti sina muda wake. At this time, nimedrop kila kitu isipokuwa the main source of income. Did this guy really comprehend how much I was sacrificing to accommodate him in my life? Story ni refu kuliko hii. Kwa saa hii, let's stick to these points. So, there's another dilemma I needed to read. But anyway, I've not gotten to it. But, when you don't understand how psychosis works. This guy is not necessarily thinking about you. He's already developed resentment towards you. He does not even like you. He's just in your house because there's a place you can sit, there's free food, there's everything is being taken care of. I go shower, I go do water. In fact, I shower with your soap and go sleep outside so I can bring you UTI that can kill you. Easy. Isn't life easy? So it's not so much that did he care about how much you're doing for him. This is a narcissist. He's just here. He resents you, and if he can see you fail, that would be the best part of his life. Like, can you imagine someone coming into your life and you dropping all the gigs and remaining with one income source just so you can make time for them when they're bumming in your house and not contributing to anything? Honestly, at this point is where sometimes I think witchcraft is real. Honestly. And I've had situations like those where I look back and I'm just thinking, you cannot tell me witchcraft does not exist. Because how was I this blind and deaf? How can it possibly be? But I am so sorry. This is such a traumatic thing to happen to someone for them to decide, no, it's enough. But sometimes we're grateful for the lessons. At the end of the day, we're grateful for the lessons, even if it took a shitty way to learn that lesson. We're grateful for the lesson overall. And then next part, I told you it's a PowerPoint presentation. Do some romantic things gross you out now? Second part. Number 1, well, yes. Right now, I value my time. So someone asks me for a date, I need to create time for it to happen. And it's been hard, hence the conscious decision to stay single. I am looking for money. You might as well not waste my time with what's your favorite color. See, ungeni text. Sorry, I choked a bit there. You said, don't sit across a table from me and ask me your favorite color. Text me that shit. Don't waste my time. Anyway, number 2, you say, hii mchezo ya who is paying pia sina. You tell me you choose a venue, I ask your budget, and I make sure just in case utapitia dirisha, niko na pesa ya kulipa yangu. Who's paying? I find that question now really exhausting. Who's gonna pay for dinner? Who's gonna pay for dinner? Those are some of the things that just make being single very much fun. I'm just like, if I don't come, we don't have to have this debate. I'll go for a date when I'll go for a date and I'll pay for it myself. Why do I need to sit across you and I have to deal with you and still pay for my own dinner? See, I just go for dinners. I always go for dinners by myself and pay and enjoy my own peace. Yeah, anyway. Number 3, I am done compromising. If you are not vibes, you can as well walk out. But me huana a better idea. If you feel like I am the problem, I remove myself from the equation. Simple. I keep saying I was born in Eldoret, and this is why I will always walk or run. I will always walk or run. It does not matter. The slight, I'm out. You will find Olympics is where I am. And lastly, so now I am celibate until I know I may heal enough to see someone. The thing is, for me to be attracted to this kind of person, must have something to do with me too, or it must have something to do with you as well. Yes. Maybe it's the way I carry myself, ama I talk, ama my level of tolerance, whatever it is. That's what I want to figure out while still looking for my own money so that I can deal with it. Yes, you do attract. Yes. There's something about you that attracts that kind of person. And it's not a bad thing, because I just recently learned that people like me, quite independent, good energy, happy, ambitious. You're always out there looking for your own money, all of that. Like, you're the total package. Of course, a total package does not exist, but you're basically the total package. You will attract a lot of dusties. You see, the same way a giver attracts takers, it's the same way. So if you're the kind of person who really has your life together, you're going to attract a lot of people who are very who are very disorganized in their life because they need someone else they need to rely on someone else. They need someone convenient to clean up after them. So that's why you're the target. You're not a target for a bad thing, but here's the bad trait that you have that makes you an easy target. Now you've accepted these people. And that's the problem we've suffered with, even while I'm talking about people pleasing. I'm the full package. Like I'm neat, I'm clean, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm a good communicator, I'm healthy, I communicate nicely, I'm loving and caring and kind. I'm all those things. And I have all these things to offer. But the problem is I've not held this standard for my significant others as well. So I am willing to offer these things, but I'm accepting everything and anyone. And it could be an issue of self-esteem as well. Because I remember for a very long time, I felt like I was not worthy of love or care. And so anyone who dared to love or show care to me, I was just thinking like they were doing me a favor. And so I would go above and beyond, like what you were doing for this guy, you were just doing too much. When at this point, there's a feeling of lack. You feel like even the guilt itself, I think that it could be a trait of people pleasing, even the guilt itself of you genuinely believing that it's your fault that he came to your house. It's you who called him. I call you, you come for a night to just keep me company. And then you come and move into my house for months over. Are you mad? Anyway, it could be something, but just don't think of it as something very negative, but work on it. I wish you all the best if you're going to therapy, if you're doing it by yourself, if you're friendships, self-help groups, self-help books, whatever way you're doing it. I'm wishing you all the very best. And you finish saying, one thing is for sure though, if I ever get to date again, I will make sure they realize they are dating a dragon ready to breathe fire on them. I am too young to be emotionally and physically mistreated, and even in my 60s, I will still be young. And that's on period. Did you stutter? You said what you said. Mindset yangu ni another crazy thing, na hii mindset tu, the other guy lazima awe nayo. Kumaanisha, kuna possibility dating si possible. But oh well, tuko kwa jani ya self-healing. It's been 12 months and 3 weeks since the breakup. Maybe that's why all this is so fresh. It is. Pole yaki hii email inakaa report, but usimain sana. Thank you for talking about things we rarely talk about. It brings light and relief to know that kuna possibility si mimi peke yangu na go through some things. This fills my heart with so much joy because, as I said, just learning about other people's stories is really, really affirming. And yes, I can tell this story is still pretty young. 1 year is very young because I know it's fresh. I mean, it's very fresh. If you're going through something, you've not fully healed. A lot of you still find triggers. Some things really still trigger you. So it's okay. It's okay where you are. You've done so well for yourself so far. From the way you're speaking, you're saying you have a certain mindset, and that mindset has to, the person, your significant other, must also have it. And that's why you think even dating might not be a possibility. And that is fine. Because as I said, I have set some standards, and the standards are literally things I can offer. I can offer cleanliness, I can offer support, I can offer kindness, I can offer good communication. All I'm asking is that you offer that as well. And you find that a lot of people just don't want to offer that. And it's okay. If they don't, it's fine. In my status right now, I'm very happy. So I'm wishing you all the best. Whichever direction life will take, just make sure you don't, please, do not dare fall into the temptation of probably feeling loved again. It can come, but just be very careful. Be observant. Your Prince Charming could also come your way. You could be out here thinking they don't exist, but they actually exist. I actually believe those people we are looking for do exist. We might meet them. A win is a win. If we don't meet them, that is also fine, right? Another mail. We got mail. We got so much mail. Okay. Dear Olive, So I have been single for a year now, and let me just say I am so happy as to where I am mentally. There is a lot of unpacking and unlearning I have done over this 1 year that I have been single. So I'm 24 years old, and before last year, I used to have this fear of being single mainly because I was still in uni and didn't have any source of income. I was always broke. Being in a relationship gave me some sort of peace knowing I had someone in this journey. For your information, I only used to date people with money. Kinda gave me some sort of reassurance. Those relationships were very toxic and abusive emotionally. Where? And come to think of it, they never gave me ata bob. Nilikufa tu na shida zangu. I remember this one time my ex had sent me pics showing me how he had furnished his house with items worth 70,000 within a day. So si nikasema, let me request anilipie fuliza ya 300. Guy said he doesn't have. After the breakup is when I realized all this time I have been draining myself, ya bure. Right now, I'm so at peace, Olive. Stress niko nayo ni ya kutafuta job tu juu I graduated last year, si eti sijaambiwa good night leo. Singlehood is so addictive, though juu one red flag and I'm out. I no longer have tolerance ya ka kitambo. I don't care whether you have money or not. I just cut you off. Focused on chasing the bag too. Thanks for these platforms. For this platform. Hey, yo. I've told you finance plays a very huge, a major deal in relationships. And sometimes you look back, like her, she looks back and realizes, these people never even offered me money. Maybe it's the illusion that I have backup because I'm dating someone who can have money, but then you just realize that was just you thinking. But in real sense, these people were not helping you in any way, and a lot of times people will only help you until when they want to, and also they can't help you enough for you to thrive better than them. So for you, I love it. I love that now you've graduated. It's hard out here, right? So you need to look for money. You need to find your opportunities. You need to chase things here and there. And that will provide a very good distraction for you to stay single. And if you want celibate, that hustle period really helps because your mind is fully occupied with things that you want to do. So I am wishing you all the very best. So far, so good. I am proud of you. And let's see how it goes, okay? Another mail I got says, Dear Olive, I will be short and quick. I have been single coming on to 4 years now and happy and living life. I chose celibacy 2 months ago when I chose to stay sober. I have struggled with sobriety since I was an alcoholic, but not celibacy. You see, I am a survivor of defilement by a close family member, and that ruined my sex mojo, and I could only have sex while drunk, and boy, have I whored. You see, In the 2 months of sobriety, I thought I was okay and tried having sex with the sneaky link, and woo! Little Paradise was drier than Kalahari. He grossed me out and I couldn't stand kissing him, let alone continue engaging with him. For a man I slept with for the longest, despite the whoring and whose sex was always magical, orgasms and squirting, I wouldn't get wet. So my celibacy now is out of soberness, and I hope I can be at a place in this journey when I can overcome my addiction to begin having some good strokes. Anywho, to all ladies battling any addiction, I hope your sex lives don't change. Turus. And you used Uno wrongly. Oh, the peanut powder. Next time, please don't make uji with it, but use it in your sauces. As thickener, e.g. meats, vegetables, porridges, fruit juices. You can use it in your curry powder. You'll experience it. The experience is magic. Okay. I had peanut powder and I just made it as porridge. So I ate it with sweet potatoes. Anyway, you sent in a second email, continuation. I am very happy single since the last man I dated happened to move on and marry our mutual friend. I am glad I jumped ship. Dude died 2 years into it. I am comfortable in this singleness since I make my rules and don't feel the need to take care of someone else. I like coming home at will and or not, plan and go for trips at will, spend my money without being questioned, dress to my liking. I have just realized that the idea of marriage and children has crossed my mind, a long time. Hasn't crossed my mind in a long time, and I have to be reminded by the nosy aunties. I am constantly vocal of remaining child free in my 20s and will explore the idea of dependence in my 30s. Well, I am in the last leg of this, my 20s, and will see whether I still hold that belief next year. Love your content. Keep the good work. Maybe in the next podcast, talk about addiction in women, especially in corporate. You will be amazed at our numbers, especially here in Kenya. Okay. Keep me anonymous. Good night. We'll look into that. We can actually schedule it for season 4. So it's a topic that we can look into season 4. So thank you for suggesting it. And I am so sorry for the experience that you have gone through with abuse and alcoholism. And I'm glad that you're very intentional towards healing and getting to a better space. And I also pray it for you. I also hope that you get to a space where you can now get to have sex soberly and you can get to enjoy that sex soberly. So, yeah, I am sorry that you got here like that, but also I am happy that you're here. Single and celibate is such a good place to begin in your healing journey. And as I've said, it saves you so much energy that you can then intentionally channel towards something. And most of the time it can be healing also. So, yeah. I am happy. I'm happy for you. Another mail says, hope you are well. For me, I am single and very happy. On the 13th day of December last year, I ended a 4-year relationship with my ex, who was a good man. You've put good in quotes, so I don't know. He, however, needed a mother, and I am just a baby. Okay, currently practicing celibacy. He ruined sex for me. He was my first and it was all pain, no pleasure. I was never in the mood for it anyway. I am not ready to go through that experience ever again. Funny thing, I don't even think about relationships anymore. I am single, child-free, and happy. I think that's enough for now. Thank you for your amazing podcast. My Monday mornings are indeed blessed. Oh, I love this, and you will get this episode on Monday morning. Hopefully. It's now 2. But anyway, a 4-year relationship. You ending a 4-year relationship. That's a kudos to you. And yes, you might need some time to stay single and probably celibate to provide some clarity for you and see where you're headed and what you want to work on. If you want to get back into a relationship later on, that is also fine. But for now, I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you're in that space. I'm happy that you left that place. I'm happy that, oh my goodness, you've been having painful sex for 4 years. No one deserves that. And be celibate for now. Just relax, be peaceful. And wherever it goes, it goes. I am happy for you. Another mail. You thought I was kidding. I had mails from here to Timbuktu. Someone else says, hey, Olive, Big C's. Hey, do you know I used to think that my life was dull and boring, got no tales to share until I stumbled upon the realization that my life isn't as dull as I thought. That's because of TikTok scrolling marathon when, lo and behold, I found myself relating to some of your content. Thanks to you, Olive, I've discovered the hidden gems in my own life and for your support through your loving, comforting platform. I have got some answers to questions I couldn't even ask the closest people to me. So thanks again. You are most welcome and loads of love. Now let's dive into the juicy part. Why am I single? Well, it's all thanks to the son of a woman. It's always a son of a woman. Who was the king of disappointments. Don't get me wrong. There were those lovey-dovey moments, but heartbreak, my friend, was the grand finale. So yes, I've decided to embrace the single life with open arms, and let me tell you, Maina, it's quite the adventure. You see, being in a relationship, it's great, no doubt about it. But right now, I've realized that loving someone is like having a part-time job. And honestly, I'm not punching in for that shift. I mean, just think about it. Getting to know guy's family, his likes, dislikes, and even his siblings. That's a whole load of work. And don't even get me started on the level of vulnerability you have to reach with another person. It's like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube in the dark. Oh, and the list goes on. You have to embrace and cherish all those charming imperfections too. Well, no one's perfect. Now, don't get me wrong. Someday I might be up for a challenge, but right now I'm perfectly content with in my solitude. You know that old saying I picked up from movies: if you want to get over a man, get a rebound, get under another. Well, I gave it a shot and it did work for a few hours. But then the idea of celibacy dawned on me and I haven't looked back since. Until one day again, maybe, because casual sex is just, It's liberating not having to call or check up on anyone, no compromises, just pure self-love. Sure, love is a beautiful thing, and who knows, I might change my tune someday, but for now, it's all about me, myself, and I. And let me tell you, it's an epic party. Until I call myself to a meeting and decide we want to love again, we embrace singlehood. We love it, eh? We love it here. And here's the thing, as again I said, it's not a matter of pick and choose. It's not set on stone. A lot of people think if I say I'm single and not looking forward towards a relationship, they're just like, oh, so you think you'll forever be alone? I'm just like, chill. If I get to a point where I find someone and we love each other and it happens, it will happen. A lot of people just feel like you can't have one, you can't have multiple things. You have to choose one and die with that one. And I love this for you. You're saying for now, I'm in a very peaceful place. It's lovely. I love it here. If in the future I get to change my mind, that is also fine. And we love that for a babe. We really do love that for a babe. And of course, it was jump-started by a heartbreak again. We've realized that's how majority of us got here to begin with. But I love it for you, and I hope you find so much clarity and beauty in your life. Continue, please thrive some more. Another male. Hi Olive. ID tupa juu kama taxes za Zakayo. What is wrong with you people? Anyway, I once loved someone's son. We started out as friends and became very tight. We knew everything about each other, or so I thought. Deep down, I knew that we liked each other. He later started hitting on me, and just when I was about to say yes, I found out that he had just gotten a baby with someone else. This guy had been hitting on me all along, akijua kuna mtu akona mimba yake. Sitakuwa na shida not being the woman he chose. Sikuwa na shida not being the woman he chose to settle with because I really valued our friendship. To be honest, I was okay with either being his girlfriend or friend. What really hurt is that he had kept this vital piece of information from me the whole time. But what hurt me most is that I found out this information from someone else in a random conversation. He had no guts to tell me the truth. The dude would rather sacrifice our friendship than be honest. My friends still think that I played hard to get. that I played hard to get for too long. That is why he got someone else pregnant. Hii dunia unaweza kosewa vibaya sana na bado waseme wewe ndio mwenye makosa. Unfortunately, the fact that sometimes I still think I am to blame baffles me. Lakini mambo na mapenzi abadan katan. Being single has been a bliss. I am genuinely happy where I am right now. We love it for you. And this just plays to the episode that we had last week. Can men and women be friends? See, men out here, they be lying. You lie to even your own friend. But then what did you intend to achieve? What did you intend to have a friend on the side who's now, and then someone else is having your baby? It's messy. Yuck. Men, do better. But anyway, I'm glad for you. I'm glad you're happy. I'm glad this. Can you imagine if you'd have gotten involved with him? Can you imagine if you'd have never found out this information? You literally dodged a bullet, and I love that. So I'm happy for you. It's hurtful, but it got us here. We're enjoying singlehood, and me, I'm wishing you all the best. All the very best. You will be fine. Out here, it's going to be a breeze. It's lovely. Another long email. Okay, here we go. Hey mama, hadithi. Sahani ya mchele, giza ya mwezi. Hey hadithi njo. I have been celibate 10 plus fucking long years now. Are you for real? I'd like to say it's been fun, but it's not. A decision influenced by to never forget events. It's 2012, fresh out of high school, and everybody is banging everybody. While in school, having had sex was a benchmark of adulthood of sorts, and while we sengenyad people for it, it was still a when I grow up kind of thing. Anyway, even before the results were read, while people were shitting their pants worried about their grades, I was shitting my pants wondering how I'm going to tell my folks, my pastor dad, and my mom that I had a baby in the oven. Sweating bullets, I was on my knees bargaining with the heavens that if I wasn't pregnant, I would never ever. But for the people who believe in lessons, that was a lesson. Sadly, my baby wasn't meant for this existence. She prematurely exited the chat. I mentioned this specific story for one reason alone. When I was pregnant, I remember bawling my eyes out to my dad. I was barely 16 and it felt like my entire life was a wrap, and not neatly. And without a beat, my dad said, "What did you expect?" And I'm not looking for a pro-life, pro-choice debate, but the essence of what he was saying was there is a result for everything and for sex. And for sex, it's a baby or a disease. And so I swore that the next time I have sex, I should be able to live with the consequences of my actions. That should there be a baby, I can comfortably provide for it. Number 2, couple years later, maybe 3 or 4, I started seeing someone. And like 4 months after we started seeing each other, I decided, you know what? But did I die the last time I had sex? No. Let me see what happens now. I carry myself all the way from Juja to Kiserian for a weekend, Friday through Sunday. This was the weekend. I hadn't told him, but baby girl I had packed for the occasion, shaved and had been on the coffee and pineapple diet. If you know, you know. Wait, I know what pineapple does. I don't know what coffee does. What does coffee do? Okay, tell me. Tell me why I get to his place, and around 7ish, some girl comes to the house walking around like she owns it. Let me paint the picture for you. Because I still laugh to this date. I'm sitting in the living room choosing a movie. B is plating food in the kitchen. This chick walks in with a quick hi, dumps her bag on the chair by the door, and beelines into the bathroom. Like 20 minutes later, she comes back to the sitting room and has showered and changed clothes, wearing his basketball shorts and a t-shirt. Jaw dropped. Then she finally greets me properly and says she was pressed, that's why she was in a hurry like that. Mr. Man casually explains how she is his upstairs neighbor. Now, I know neighbors. I've lived with idiots that would borrow my gas, come help themselves to my food in my kitchen, but never have I ever had a neighbor come take a shower in my house just because. Like, how now? So we start talking because I introduce myself as his best friend, and she, in so many words, tells me that they are trying to date. I chose my words very carefully, and to be honest, we had been long-time friends, so it kinda suited the situation. She was very friendly. I couldn't even hate her if I tried. But nail on coffin comes when she starts telling me how earlier in the month, they and our boyfriend had a pregnancy scare. Olive. I ran and never looked back. I decided that the universe had spoken loudly. With a fractured ego, I decided to pack my horniness and move. Been moving since then. Like I have had the temptations, but then the universe screams again. But if I keep writing, it would turn into a novel, I swear. But yeah, celibacy is my home now. Wait, does it count if you have a B.O.B.? I don't know what a B.O.B. is. Is that a baby? Asking for a friend. Have a good time. What is a B.O.B.? Is it a baby or a friends with benefits? Boy with benefits. Boy or benefit. I'm trying to figure out what a B.O.B. is. But anyway, it still counts. Single is single, celibacy is celibacy. It still counts, whatever that is. But, yo, do traumatic events and you were just out. I'm out. I hate that all of us got here through a traumatic event. But we are happy, right? It's been a good ride. You do get the temptations once in a while, but it's been a good ride. And I am happy for you. I'm happy that you chose celibacy. I'm happy that you chose singlehood. By far, you are one of the people I know who's been single for the longest, 10 plus years. Yeah, 10 plus years, that's a long time. I don't even know if you remember what it feels like to be in a relationship. Do you? But I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. You found such a good place to be in. And you've mastered the art by now. 10 years is a while. You're the OG. Okay? Another mail I got says, "Hey bestie, hey. Finally, I get to send my contribution. Now, I'm single and celibate. This is not by choice. I'm just single and I'm not happy that I am. I think I haven't been in a proper relationship for the past 5 years. I'm scared. I don't know why boys just don't hit on me. Is it masculinity? I however, have been in situationships that ended really messy. I had a friend with benefits who I just grew out of. So for like the past 5 months, I've been celibate. I have options for sex, but just about when I grew apart with my FWB. I was at a point of healing, working on myself so I can grow, and I'm very keen on sexual energies and how they can affect your progress. So I chose to stay celibate. Since then, I can just have sex because of my goal. I can't just have sex because of my goals. Hope I am making sense, but I'd love to fall in love." Yes, you make all the sense in the damn world. I'll start with the beginning of it. You are single, but you're not necessarily excited about it. And I can understand this. It says the same thing, that you want to date, you want to feel the feeling of love. You haven't been in a proper relationship. This is too familiar. A lot of us haven't been in like a proper relationship. These things we see on social media, these things we see somewhere else. It just doesn't happen in our lives. The other thing you've said is that men just don't hit on you, and you're wondering if it's masculinity. That can be a whole other topic of people who just never get picked. There are I think my third episode, season 1, is sex appeal. So there are people. Sex appeal creates attraction. So there are people with high sex appeal, there are people with low sex appeal. You could be one of those people who does not have sex appeal, or rather has low sex appeal, and therefore you don't have that. It's some sort of, it's an aura. So there's an attraction that people have when they have sex appeal. But that's just as much as I know about it. I don't know any other information, and there could be more to it. But basically, it does not mean that you lack anything. They're just people who don't get picked. And oh my goodness, there's a whole thread on TikTok of girls talking about how I'm not saying I want to be a pick me. I'm not saying I want to be picked. I'm not saying, we just want to know what it feels like to be picked. Like for someone to approach a group of girls and to want to talk to you. We're not saying that we want to be the girls getting picked. We're just saying we'd like to know what it feels like to be approached, right? So I guess that is your issue here. And you're also the kind of person who's really looking forward to love. But right now you're just in the healing process, and you feel like being single and probably being celibate will help that process. And we've mentioned that it will. I promise you for a fact. That energy can be concentrated towards something else that usually is mostly healthy. So I'm wishing you all the very, very best. And as I've said, being single does not necessarily mean that you are celibate. There are people who are single but still explore other sexual relationships. And I don't know how they manage to keep it casual. I cannot speak to it. I know I'm horrible at it. But basically, you live your life and live it to the fullest, okay? Now, our last mail here, it had so much jargons. Luo men, why can't you just speak normally? What is so wrong with just speaking normal English? Anyway, hey Olive, I just wanted to drop you a quick message to let you know how much I've been loving your podcasts. Thank you so much. I stumbled upon them about a week ago, and it's been an absolute blast catching up on all the episodes. Your stories and those shared by your guests have this incredible way of resonating with me and reflecting on aspects of my own life. Your laughter and humor are seriously contagious, and I can't get enough of it. Thanks for creating such an awesome show that's not only entertaining but also genuinely insightful. Looking forward to more episodes and the laughs they'll bring. Keep up the fantastic work. Here is my view on being single. So before we get to that, thank you so much. Loads of love. Thank you. It really warms my heart. Okay, let's get to it. The single life. My personal haven of tranquility and space, where I can dance like nobody's watching because, well, nobody is. Indulge in Netflix marathons without a hint of interruption and bask in the bliss serenade of silence. Imagine this: dating enters the picture, complete with its commitment clauses, and suddenly you are struck with an exasperated a sentiment worthy of a pirate's declaration. Picture a life where you can cozy up indoors for a whole week, free from the barrage of check-ins. Now, don't get me wrong, human interaction is cool, but someone breathing down your neck for extended periods? No thanks. A quick hi, visit, and then off you go. That's more my style. Now let's sprinkle a little money into the narrative. Here's the scoop. Money's like the elusive treasure chest hidden at the end of a complicated map. I don't have the chest just yet, but I'm on the hunt. And here's the twist. My treasure hunt isn't driven by the shiny allure of wealth making me change my solo anthem. Nope. Even if I stumble upon the gold doubloons, even if I stumble upon the gold doubloons, it's not going to magically make me yearn for companionship. And yes, Future me, I am waving a reminder flag. Things might change, but for now, freedom is my compass. So when it comes to romance, I'm like the ice cold protagonist in my mystery novel, enigmatic and unyielding. I tried the relationship gig once, but alas, it was like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. I felt like a one person sympathy parade, pitying the poor soul who dared to venture into my cozy hermitage. I mean, imagine this. You don't deserve me, I proclaimed, not out of arrogance, but out of my determination to shield your self-esteem from my introverted cocoon. You might fall head over heels, but my heart's got a do not disturb sign on it. So here's the scoop. My grand plan involves a dating world where everyone gets their own slice of personal space pie. I'm talking about the kind of space that that even NASA would be proud of. A galactic distance that prevents any claustrophobic vibes. Freedom, my dear friends, reigns supreme in my realm. If a relationship threatens to clip my wings and turn me into a metaphorical bird in a cage, you can bet your last emoji that I am out of there faster than a squirrel on sugar high. So there you have it. My manifesto of solitude, my oyster of isolation, and my anthem of independence. In a world where connections often mean clinging, I am the enigma savoring freedom's sweet melody. After all, relationships are meant to add, not subtract. And if freedom's the currency, you can consider me a millionaire of the heart. Hide ID while I enjoy being single. Yours truly, Luo Man. Hello there, Luo Man. The one day I didn't have a Luo Man match up on the site on the set. But yeah, here's the thing. I said even in relationships generally, if I ever get into a relationship, we are still keeping our spaces. I've said even marriage does not scare me. I'm willing to get married. So long as we are living in separate houses or we have a house big enough to have wings so that everyone just has to have their own space. It's such a peaceful place to be. And I also love this for you. And you say sometimes you are, oh my goodness, you mentioned something that came so close home. Because a lot of times I am accused, even with friendships, I'm accused of being distant, of being guarded. And I'm just like, there's something here you said. What people consider romance or rather connection is clinginess. To me, it's clinginess. The idea of, I have to check up on you. Good morning text. Good evening text. What are you doing? I feel like is this a connection really? And I'm struggling with this even with friendships because a lot of times people tell me you're distant. No, I'm not distant. I don't need to inform you about what I'm doing every single part of my day. I don't need to inform you about every plan I have in my life. And I feel, okay, for me it's clingy, but I'm with my Luo Man here. It's a bit too much in my space. But I do get it. Also being quite introverted, you will love your space. It's very peaceful. The autonomy itself of just being in a space where you can choose what you want, when you want it, do as you please. My goodness, the advantages are, the list can go on and on. And so I am happy for you. For the people who come into your life, well, as we've said, you can be single, but you cannot necessarily be celibate. So you can get your sneaky link. You can do as you please. You can get an arrangement that works for you. Sex toys and all that. You should be fine. But singlehood in itself as a whole is a lot of fun. And that brings us to the end of all our mails. My goodness. How many is one of those long episodes again. Let me try and get through mine very first and then we can call it an episode. So for me, things that got me to being single. Very first, because you have my previous podcast episodes that explain a lot of these things. So I don't need to go into details with them. First of all, I'm a neat freak and I struggle with perfectionism. And that means sharing space makes me just very anxious. So, for one, being at someone's house or someone being at my house just makes me very anxious. Being with people for a long period of time, we don't even necessarily need to be in each other's houses. We could be somewhere hanging out, but I start to drain out very slowly. And I'm just like, no, I'm out. Low sex drive and asexuality. I have struggled with low sex drive since I became sexually active, and I was just like, am I broken? What is wrong with me? Only to realize I belong in the whatever, the subset of asexuality. And honestly, sex is not a priority. Sexual attraction, I don't even have the feeling for it. I already have a podcast on sex appeal. I don't have sex appeal. I don't care for it. I was just, me, all these things I didn't have the answers to, but I've been struggling with this. I was meant to be single, but we've been brought up in a world where single was not an option. You were supposed to be coupled, even if it didn't make sense for you. So for me, finding answers to low sex drive and asexuality was such a game changer for me. It affirmed everything that I needed affirmation for. Something else is we've naturally been socialized to nurture, to be nurturers by nature. And I am one of those people who easily takes up the motherly role. So I find myself, even when I'm being distant, this is even in friendships, it's because I'll quickly take up, and I don't even need to take it up intentionally. Usually, I think it's an aura I have. Like people for sex appeal have that, or me, I have the aura for motherly. So immediately I'm in a space, it feels like I immediately attract people who want an opinion, people who want help, people who want so I think it's the same thing in relationships. But for relationships, it's not necessarily someone who wants help. I think relationships, it's been in the sense that I've been targeted to be someone who's homely. So they come in for convenience, not so much. They'll come in and they'll get a lot and won't have to offer much. They can come in and live a convenient, lazy life around me. So those are things that just like sort of tired me over time. Something else that was very key in pushing me to this space is self-esteem issues. Since I wasn't very confident of myself, I didn't think I was offering much in relationships. I thought I was ugly. I thought I had, basically self-esteem is a bitch. But at the time, I just think anyone who dates me was doing me a favor. And therefore, I was giving so much just to compensate for the favor that I think I'm being done for. When in real sense, these people looking back, they've not even let go to date. They still call me once in a while to just see if I can even remain friends with them, because these people were gaining so much from me and I didn't know. I didn't have my standards yet. I didn't even know people can set standards. So at the time, self-esteem played a key role in me facing I wouldn't call it abuse, but just getting like second class treatment in relationships. And it's really shitty when I should have known I am all that, when I should have known I offer so much. And that is why I'm attracting these people who honestly kept telling me they do not deserve me, but I did not believe them. I didn't know what they were saying, because in your head, you're just like, I'm nothing. I'm nothing. And they kept saying, oh, Olive, I don't deserve you. And I never had it. Now I know. They were thinking, hey, this girl is above my league and she's out here simping, eh? Not someone else. Also something that got me here is self-awareness. This was jump-started by a heartbreak I went through, basically a breakup I went through. Was it in 2019? I think so. And it is at that point that I became very deliberate about self-awareness, self-love. What is this I'm feeling? Never to blame myself again, because I think the epiphany there was that I had been blaming myself for a very long time, only to find out he's actually the one who did something and kept on gaslighting me. So I went into self-love, recovering from people-pleasing. People-pleasing. Guy, right now, I should start masterclasses for people-pleasing recovery. people pleasing, and also holding up my boundaries. I found myself to be very keen on holding up my boundaries. I've been proud. Literally, I've had moments where I've said something to someone and I'm just like, yo, you are a completely different person, Olive, and I love that for you. I've been holding up my boundaries and I let go of guilt. So I'm living my best life, because I feel like in the beginning, when I started choosing this single celibate life, I felt like I owed people and it felt like I needed to apologize for every decision that I'm making. But right now, I'm just very confident in everything that I say. I don't want children. I don't want a family. I don't want marriage. I want this and that for my relationship. I want a man who loves me like this. I want communication to be like this. I want. And I keep insisting that everything I state I want, I will offer it to you. I'm not just stating because I'm stating. This is something that I am willing to offer you, and sure, I will. Okay? And last but not least, autonomy is extremely addictive. Once I got into that space where I had let go of the grooming that we had been groomed, that you need a man, you need to work for the validation of men, you need to approval of men. Once I walked away from that, everything in me became content, right? Like, there is nothing I am missing. I swear right now, as I'm sitting here talking to you, I am missing nothing in my life, and it's beautiful. And I got into the, as I went, someone did not know, I even have a post on Facebook. I couldn't go to public by myself. I couldn't go to public places by myself. I always felt so anxious. I could have never eaten outside by myself. When I wanted to try a new place, I'd drag along a friend, I'd drag along a partner. I was always like, where I must go with someone. Once I started going to places solo, I took my first solo trip to Red Hill in Limuru. And for the first time, I was just like, my goodness, if I want to eat fries and chicken, I don't have to compromise. That someone else wants pizza. Okay, let's get pizza so that we can split, so that we... For the first time, I realized, wait a minute, I can do everything by myself. I did not compromise. It became freaking addictive. I'm just like, I can go to places and do as I please. So even vacations, you don't have to wake up to someone's itinerary. We're going to do this. We're going to we're going to sleep today. No. I just... like, living in your own autonomy is beautiful. You do what you want, when you want. But with that said, that is why I'm here on the single lane. I said I'm not single and celibate by choice. I want to say it's not by choice. I just found myself here and I've been enjoying it so much, and I've set my standards while here, and I've found that since I can also hold up my boundaries, if those standards are not met, I just leave. And these days I don't even have chills. I'll just leave you and read, or I'll just tell you no, without explanation, because why should you get an explanation? As whom? We left relationships, we left families because we didn't want to explain things. How can we now sit here and start explaining things to you just so we can sit across a table and ask each other what our favorite colors are? Mine is brown. Now you know from the episode. We're done. Oh, that brings me to the end of this podcast episode. It's another long one, but I think I'll keep this one as one episode instead of uploading two of them. I'll put them up as one episode. Hopefully that can be able to render by morning, so that you have the episode by morning. Oh my goodness, it's now 3 a.m. I hope you can have it early enough. But that brings us to the end. I hope this has been affirming. I hope this has been beautiful for people who are in the single lane, for people who are in relationships and thinking about stepping into the singlehood. Here you are. You have seen every story, how it's morphed, how people are here, how they're feeling about it. But we have agreed about one thing. With every story, no matter how we got here, it's peaceful. And that is, like, you cannot place a price tag on peace. And as you've had one girl, you will need new bras and new jeans. Because the amount of peace that comes to your life, you're going to add weight, and it's good weight, the kind of weight that makes you glow. Lovely. Anyway, until next week, we are closing in slowly to the end of season 3. We will take a break after season 3 for maybe 4 weeks and then come back with season 4 after that. But until next week for our next episode, may you take care of yourself. Please hydrate, wear sunscreen. It rained a little today. I don't know if it will be raining. I hope it does. I really love the rains. But bye. Take care of yourself. My fabulous name is Oliver Rao, and this has been the In All Honesty podcast.